Peace and love, peace and love. Team Osiris on the horizon. This is your boy Amir Jelani Kamara, better known as Ngozi. Man, y'all, with my brother Kufu, and we was explaining, trying to go in on consciousness or the challenges of consciousness and what this reality is really about. We was breaking down oneness, and I was trying to express to my brother how oneness works. The illusion is separateness. We believe that the separateness is what this shit is really about. And this is what made the situation that we're in, the third dimensional parallel, or this tangible reality, is governed by the laws of electromagnetic force, weak nuclear force, gravitational, and weak nuclear force, strong nuclear force. The forces that govern over it, the four forces, or mechanical or the material aspect or chemical aspect that makes up our reality, solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. The challenging aspect of this tangible reality is completely elusive. The universe itself is a simulation, and it appears as if everything is separate and different. But this is why it exists. Can you see oneness through the challenges? Challenges are always being created by awareness or consciousness. Consciousness itself is always creating. So the true purpose of existence is to realize or reach your divinity, or your excellence, or your creativity. You at your best is it. So how can you reach that to the best of your ability? Creation or creativity is what the goal is, to reach your divine self, which is your creativity. Your talent is your real magic. So understand that, or the dynamics, which is the situation of you, is what this shit is really about, yo. Understand your creativity, because you're always creating, whether it's good or bad, whether you think you had nothing to do with it or you had something to do with it, you're always creating. And that's why on the glyph, when we look at Ra, we see a pep always chasing him. Ra represents consciousness, and Ra represents power of all of the universe. Ra represents everything within nature. Ra represents thermonuclear fusion of all the stars and all the galaxies. Ra represents everything that is objective, visibly, and he represents consciousness itself. And then you have the challenge of the awareness that's always being chased, that's chasing Ra, which is a pep. Consciousness or awareness is always creating challenges for itself. It's a sense of excitement to a degree. It's a rush. We also see this is why a tomb is masturbating, because this is the absolute plan with itself, and you are it. It's like a cosmic game. So when you get into understanding the universe and how it works, the challenges is always going on. This is why we have droughts. This is why we have famine. The human being is always trying to move around, and species is always trying to move around. Challenges is always occurring. You can never rest. You can never stay seated. You have to always move. You have to always move around. You have to always find a way. Always find a way to create a situation to get yourself out of the situation, or create some type of issue, some type of problem to solve it. This is the power of this large thing that we have called the cerebral cortex within humans. And animals go through these challenges as well. If a certain cub within a lion pack don't know how to hunt properly, it loses its life. So the mother prepares that child to go through those challenges and understand the challenges in order to do what it do. She prepares it. She shows it how to hunt. She shows it the game. The father, the male lion, does what he does. But if another group of lions come that's more dominant, or another male lion come that can beat off that male lion, beat his ass, he take the pack and he kill a cub. If he kill a cub, that's a sense of weakness. But they couldn't keep up with the challenge. Challenges is always occurring in the most violent aspects of nature, or it can always come in the most, it can come in the peaceful stages. If you get something that you always wanted, the challenge is how could you deal with it once you get it? How would you react? This shit is about energy exchange, man. Existence itself is truly divine. Truly divine. Brother Kufu, you got something to say, brother?
Yes, peace be unto you, man. Team Osiris is on the horizon. Check us out, www.teamosiris.com. I pretty much enjoy what you were saying as far as how we perceive reality and the aspect of reality that is playing with itself. perceived as Atum. But for the record, we do people to know that the hand that Atum was using to masturbate with was that of a female goddess, and so I just wanted to add that to it. But yeah, everything that we look at, this whole reality is a facade. You know, what we think we are seeing is actually not it. That's what scientists are like. You broke down on the show the quantum eraser when they try to actually build extra mirrors, 2 sets of mirrors after the photon went through the slit to see if it actually moved as a wave or a particle. And what they found out is that no matter how hard they try to look at it for what it really is, they can't. Because when they do, it changes the result of the experiment, or it changes it into a wave or a particle. So basically, what you think you're perceiving actually isn't what you're perceiving. It's a facade. And so, you know, that's the consciousness of, you know, what we live in. You know, shapes, taste, colors, smell, the colostrum, organizing organizing consciousness, organizing the senses, and the simple fact that our organs are just sensory receptors. When the light hits our retinas, it's not like we're actually looking out into something. It's actually light is actually entering into our head like a projector.
That's right.
So what is really taking place, and how do you go about dealing with a reality that appears to be real, but in essence it's only a facade because it's made up of matter or atoms, which are 99.9% empty space.
That's right. And it's all going to dissolve back into that vacuum state eventually. Nothing's never really rested. Everything is consistently changing. Your atomic structure changes every 7 years. Your cellular structure changes. Everything about you, or your cellular structure changes almost up to every 7 years. If you understand how red blood cells, how they manifest in the body, how long they live, and when they die, red blood cells fight off carbon to give off oxygen. Everything about you changes. All things are subject to change. That's how you know it's not real, because nothing's permanent. Everything is consistently or constantly changing. Always. Nothing's resting. Nothing's resting. You know, it's all elusive. You know, it's all elusive. When you deal with the chemical energy from the biology, so, you know, chemistry makes way for biology. You go down to chemistry or the chemicals, and you break down, you know, basic cells, and then you go into the cell, and you go into molecules, which is a collection of atoms, and then you go past that into the subatomic particles, the proton and the neutron and the electron. And the protons are made of 2 up quarks and 1 down quark, and neutron is made of 2 down quarks and 1 up quark. Neutron is slightly heavier than protons. Now, we only deal with the up and down flavors of quantum particles. The other one goes in its own direction. And the quarks are made of hydrons. And then you go past that, you get into muons, pions, and then all the other stuff, the gluons and all the other stuff, the smaller structures, which lets you know that the laws completely change at the larger scale. At the smaller scale, the laws completely change to show that this is nothing but concentrated energy. It's completely elusive, and it's temporary. So where it really is the real you, you know what I'm saying? This is why we understand, and we get involved with understanding consciousness. And the neurologists really can't tell you what consciousness is. They can tell you about the colostrum, which is the organizer of consciousness, based off what you experience and how your brain tries to organize its experience through its neurons or electrical cells or dendrites and synapse activity of what it experienced. But really, what is it?